Well, Joel, you were right. Beautiful weather, beautiful people attending, and beautiful music. Thank you, Joel. This time I'd like to introduce our Congressman for a few words, Congressman Pete Stauber.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me here today. It is a privilege to be invited to speak here at Minnesota State Veterans Cemetery in honor of our fallen service members. This Memorial Day weekend, we come together as a nation to honor those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for our country. It is deeply personal for many families. I am sure many of you in the audience have your own story about what Memorial Day means to you and your family. I want to begin by telling you all about Dante Sylvester Teeny, an American hero whose funeral I attended just yesterday in Virginia, Minnesota. After high school, Dante Teeny left his home in Virginia, Minnesota to join the Navy. He served as a radio man third class aboard the USS Oklahoma at Pearl Harbor. On Sunday, December 7th, 1941, Dante was aboard the USS Oklahoma when it was struck by several torpedoes. 13 days later, he was declared missing in action. He was just 19 years old. After 70 years of unimaginable grief and unanswered questions, his remains were finally identified. This past week, Dante was returned to his family in Virginia, Minnesota, to be buried next to his parents at Calvary Cemetery. It was a privilege to be present at this American hero who was laid to rest, but was also a solemn reminder of the sacrifices made by our service members, both men and women, and their families. The story of Dante Teeny is probably similar to the stories of many of the people buried here today. A young man or woman leaving his family and friends to serve and perished while defending our freedoms in this great country. While we may each honor a different person's memory here today, the reason why we honor them is the same. The brave men and women we honor here today died so that you and I could experience freedom. They gave their lives fighting for an idea bigger than themselves. The idea that every man has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We have always understood that these rights are not guaranteed. They must be earned and protected every step of the way and every day. We owe an immeasurable debt to our fallen service members. They went to war to fight for their friends and our family and this country. And they died so we could all live free in the greatest country on earth that we all get to call home. No words I say today can sufficiently express the gratitude we have for the Americans who have died in the service to our nation. As we honor the fallen this Memorial Day, I suggest that we recommit ourselves to preserving their memory in our hearts and minds every day, year-round. Let us never forget that the freedoms we have are not free. It is paid for every time one of our brave service members falls in battle. The goal that we strive for, the goal which these men and women fought and died for, is freedom. As long as we have brave men and women who are willing to fight for this freedom, America will continue to be the shining city on the hill. It was an honor to address you all today. May God bless all the men and women who gave their lives defending our great nation. I will leave you with the words of the Apostle John. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Thank you, and continue praying for this wonderful nation. Thank you.
We will now conduct the laying of memorial wreaths. You would take your places.